Hello everyone, this is Payal Vaja. Welcome to Pharma Desert. In this video, we will discuss about National Accreditation Board for Testing and Calibration Laboratories that are also called as NABL. And next one is Good Laboratory Practice that are also called as GLP. So let's get started. These are the list of contents we will discuss in this video. First one is definition, benefits of accreditation, types of laboratory, and 10 steps approaches to a accreditation. So first one, what is definition of NABL? NABL that specify the general requirements for the competence to carry out test and calibrations which including sampling. So NABL that specify the general principles for competence and that carry out the test and calibration including sampling. So NABL that specify the general requirements and this general requirement for competence that carry the test calibrations as well as that carry the sampling. So it covers the testing and calibration performed using a standard methods, non-standard methods and laboratory developed methods. We already discussed NABL general requirements for competence that carry out test, calibration and sampling. So if that cover the testing as well as calibration that are performed using standard or non-standard method as well as that are also performed by using laboratory developed method. So what was the benefits of accreditation? Potential increase in business due to enhanced customer confidence and satisfaction. So what was the benefits of accreditation? Potential increase in business because of enhanced customer confidence as well as satisfaction. Next one is savings in terms of time and money due to reduction of need for retesting. So first advantage is that increase the business. How business that is increased? Because of enhanced customer confidence as well as enhanced customer satisfaction. Next one is saving in terms of time and money. So how time and money are saved? Because they reduce the need for retesting, while that are also used for better control of laboratory operations and feedback to laboratories as to whether they have sound quality assurance system as well as that are technically competent. So better control of laboratory operations as well as feedback to a laboratories whether they have a quality assurance system and that are technically competent. Next one is increase of confidence in testing or calibration data as well as personal performing work. So increase the confidence in testing or calibration data in personal performing work by NABL. So customers that can search and identify the laboratories that are accredited by NABL for their specific requirements from the directory of accredited laboratories. So customer they search and identify the laboratories which are accredited by NABL. So how the customers that they search the laboratories which are accredited by NABL. So by their specific requirements from the directory of accredited laboratories. And user of accredited laboratories that will enjoy the greater access for their products and in both domestic and international markets when tested by accredited laboratories. Next one is type of laboratory that can seek accredited. First one is laboratories undertaking any sort of testing or calibration in a specified field. So laboratories that perform any test or that perform any calibration in any specified field. Second one is private or government laboratory. So second type, that is a private or government laboratories. Third type, that is a small operations which enlarge multi-field laboratories. Last one is site facilities, temporary field of operation and mobile laboratories. So mainly four type. First one is laboratory that are specified in used in any specified field. Second one is private or government laboratory. Third one is small operation which large multi-field laboratory. And last one is site facility, temporary field operation and mobile laboratory. Next one is 10-step approach for accreditation. So which type of 10-step approach? First one is awareness training. Next one is quality policy and objective finalization, gap analysis, documentation or process design, documentation or process implementation, internal audit, management review meeting, shadow audit, corrective preventive actions and final certification audit. So first step is awareness training. So in awareness training, according to their name, separate training sessions for top management, middle management and junior level management. So according to their name, awareness training. So for awareness training there is performed. So separate training session for top management, middle management and lower level management, which creates a motivating environment throughout the organization for ISO 17025 implementation. So that is regarding awareness training. Next one is quality policy and objective. So according to their name, quality policy and their objectives, workshop with top management for the development of quality policy. So top management that perform a one type of or that manage a one type of workshop regarding development of quality policy and workshop with top management and middle level functional management on the development of quality objective. So first one is top management manage the workshop regarding development of quality policy, while top management and middle level management both are working together and they maintain workshop regarding development of quality objectives. Third one is gap analysis. So what is gap analysis? Understanding of all operations of the organization and development of the process map for the activities of organization and comparing existing operations with requirement of ISO 17025 to 2005 standard. So what is gap analysis? First one is understanding of all the operations of organization. Next one is development of process map for the activity of organization and compare the existing operation with requirement of ISO 17025 to 2005 standard. Next one is documentation or process design. So first one is quality manual, next one is functional procedure, work instructions, system procedure and formats. All are the document type of documentation or a process design. Next one is documentation or process implementation. First one is workshop on a process or document implementation as per ISO 17025 requirements. And next one is departmental or individual assistance in implementing the new process or document. So for documentation or process implementation purpose, first step is workshop on document implementation according to as per ISO 17025 requirement. So manage a workshop on a document implementation. While second one is individual assistance for implementing new process or any document. Next one is internal audit. In internal audit training and examination that is optional. but a successful employee or we carry out internal audit of the organization that covering all department as well as operations. So such as the corrective and preventive actions for improvements in each of the audited departments. So in internal audit, first one is internal audit training and examination, that is optional. Second one is successful employee or we carry out internal audit of the organization that covering all the department as well as that covering all the operations. And internal audit suggests the corrective and preventive actions. So that are useful for improvement in each of audited department. Next one is management review meeting. In management review meeting, first one is quality policy and objective. Next one is result of internal audit. Next one is result of supplier evaluation, customer complaints, and last one is result of customer feedback, etc. So that is regarding management review meeting. Step number 8, there is a shadow audit. In shadow audit, a replica of final certification audit and finds the degree of compliance with ISO 17025 standard as well as which gives an idea to the employees about the conduct of final certification audit. So in shadow audit, a replica of final certification audit as well as that finds degree of compliance with ISO 17025 standard that gives an idea to employee regarding conduct of final certification audit. Next one is corrective or preventive action. So on the basis of shadow audit conducted in last step, all the non-conformities will be assigned corrective and preventive actions. So, on the basis of corrective action, on the basis of shadow audit that are conducted in last step, all the non-conformities that will be assigned as well as corrective as well as preventive actions. So a check will ensure that all the NCs are closed and the organization that is ready for final certification audits. Step number 10, that is the final certification audit. So upon the completion of various stage of accreditation audit, your organization will be awarded accreditation. That is the final certification audit. So after completion of all the stages of accreditation audit, if your organization fulfill all the requirement, so it will be awarded accreditation. Next one is good laboratory practice that are also called as GLP. So these are the list of contents we will discuss in this video. First one is introduction. What is good laboratory practice? Next one is the importance or significance of GLP, purpose of GLP, principles of GLP, what good laboratory, benefits of good laboratory practice, and last one is conclusion. So first one is introduction. What is GLP? GLP, that is a good laboratory practice, that is an FDA regulation, and GLP, that is a formal regulation that was created by FDA in 1978. So GLP, that is a formal regulation and that is created or prepared by FDA. FDA, that is a United Standard Food and Drug Administration, and GLP, that is created in 1978. What is the definition of GLP? GLP embodies a set of principles that provide a framework within which laboratory studies are planned, performed, monitored, and archived and reported. So, good laboratory practice embodies that is the set of principles and which provide a framework within which laboratory studies that are planned as well as laboratory studies that are performed, monitored, achieved and reported. So that are the GLP framework or definition of GLP. Next one is the importance of GLP. In early 70s, FDA became aware of cases of poor laboratory practice all over the US. So in 1970s, FDA that are aware about poor laboratory practice in all over the United States. So they discover lot of fraudulent activities and lot of poor lab practice. Example of some of these poor lab practice that found where first one is equipment not been calibrated to standard form, therefore giving a wrong measurement. So first poor lab practices or examples is in example first one is equipment that is not calibrated in a proper way, so that give a wrong measurement or wrong result. Next one is incorrect or inaccurate account of actual lab study and inadequate test system. Purpose of GLP, that is a GLP that certify every step of analysis that is valid or not, as well as that assure the quality and integrity of data that are submitted to FDA in support of the safety of regulated products. And GLP have a heavy emphasis on data recording and records the specimen retention. So what is the purpose of GLP? GLP that satisfy or So what is the purpose of GLP? First one is that certify that every step of analysis that is validate or not. Second one is that also assure quality and integrity of data that are submitted to a FDA in support of safety of regulated products, as well as GLP have a heavy emphasis on data recording, records and specimen retention. Next one is principle of GLP. So the test facility organization and personnel. Next one is quality assurance program, facilities, apparatus, material and reagents, test system, test and a reference substance. And last one is standard operating procedure. All are the principle of good laboratory practice. Performance of study, reporting of study result, as well as storage and retention of record and materials. First one is facility, test facility organization and personnel. So study personal responsibilities and should have a knowledge of GLP principle. So that assess to the study plan and that appropriate standard operating procedure. After that, that comply with instruction of SOP. So test facility organization and personnel. First step is study personal responsibility and that should have a knowledge of good laboratory practice principle, as well as they assess for study plan and appropriate the standard operating procedures. So that is comply with instruction of standard operating procedure and record the raw data. So study person that are responsible for quality of their data and exercise health precautions for minimizing the risk, as well as that also ensure integrity of study. Next one is quality assurance program. In quality assurance program, first one is that are the responsibility of quality assurance person, as well as this that is assessed to update the study plan and standard operating procedure and documented verification of compliance of study plan to the good laboratory practice principle, as well as inspection which determine the compliance of study with GLP principles. Three types of inspection. First one is study based inspection, next one is facility based inspection, process based inspection, and inspection of the final report for accurate as well as full description. So inspection that is performed and final report of inspection that is accurate and fully described. Report the inspection results to the management. So inspection result that is submitted to the management and statements. Third one is facilities. In facilities, suitable size, construction and location as well as the adequate degree of separation of different activities like isolation of test system and individual project to the project from a biological hazard as well as suitable rooms for the diagnosis, treatment and control of disease as well as storage rooms are available. So which type of facilities are required for a good laboratory practice? So suitable size, construction and location that is required as well as for different activities separate room are available or required. Isolation of test system and individual projects to project from biological hazard as well as that are suitable room for diagnosis, treatment and control of disease and storage rooms are available. Next one is apparatus, material and reagent. So apparatus of appropriate design and adequate capacity as well as documented inspection, cleaning, maintenance and calibration of apparatus. Apparatus materials not to interfere with test system. Last one is chemical, reagent and solutions should be labeled to indicate identity, expiry and specific storage instructions. So in apparatus, materials and reagents, apparatus of appropriate design and adequate capacity that is required in documented inspection, cleaning, maintenance and calibration of apparatus that is occur as well as apparatus and material that not to interfere with test system as well as chemical reagent any solution it should be labeled for indicate identity, expiry and specific storage instructions. Next one is test system. In test system, physical and chemical test system, biological test system, record of sources, date of arrival and arrival condition of test system all are included as well as proper identification of test system in their container or when it is removed as well as cleaning and sanitization of containers and pest control agent to be documented. So all are the past part of test system. Test and reference item. In test and reference item, first one is receipt, handling, sampling and storage. Next one is characterization. Next one is non-stability of test and reference items. Stability of test item in its vehicle. Experiments to determine the stability in tank mixture used in the field study. And last one is sample for analytical purpose for each batch. So in test and reference item, first one is receipt, handling, sampling and storage. Next one is characterization. Non-stability of test and reference item. So as well as stability of test item in its vehicle in a container. So experiment to determine the stability and tank mixture that are used in field study and samples for analytical purpose for each page. So all are the test and reference items. Next one is SOP, Standard Operating Procedure. So written procedure for a laboratory program and they define how to carry out a protocol specified activity. So standard operating procedure that is the written procedure for the laboratory program and that are useful to how any instrument are operated. So they define how to carry out a protocol specified activities and most often that is written in chronological listing of action step. So all these steps are described one by one in this SOP and they are written to explain how the procedure are supposed to work. Routine inspection, cleaning maintenance, testing and calibration, as well as action to be taken in response for equipment failure, and keeping the record, reporting, storage, mixing and retrieval of data, definition of raw data, and analytical methods. Next one is performance of study. In performance of study, prepare a study plan and content of study plan. So first one is in performance of study. First one is prepare the study plan. After that, content of study plan. In content of study plan, identification of study, records, date, reference to test methods, and information which concerning the sponsor and facility, as well as they also conduct of study. So all are the part of performance of study. Reporting of study result. In reporting of study result, first one is information on sponsor as well as test facility, experimental starting and completion date, a quality assurance program statement, description of material and test method, result and storage, etc. So reporting of study result. In reporting of study result, first step is information on sponsor and test facility. Next one is experimental starting and completion dates are added into the reports, and quality assurance program statements are included, as well as description of material and test methods, result, storage of raw material, sample, final report, all are included in a study result. Next one is storage and retention of records and material. So in storage and retention of record and material, first one is study plan, raw data and samples, as well as inspection data and master schedule, SOPs, maintenance and calibration data. If any study material that is disposed of before expiry, the reason to be justified and documented, and index of materials retained. So all are the record and material which should be stored and retained. What good laboratory must contain? So what was the criteria or requirement for good laboratory? It must contain, so area should be free from smoke, smell or any dust. So clean area that is required for good laboratory practice. Next one is ensure the good ventilation, proper illumination and a prefer a natural light. So good laboratory practice that ensure good ventilation as well as that are also useful for proper illumination and prefer natural light. Air conditioned the lab with humidity control. Air condition that is also required with a humidity control, and enough space that is required for measuring and testing the instrument. So all are the criteria for good laboratory practice. Another criteria are proper arrangement of testing. Next one is take care of all safety points including proper earthing as well as fire safety, and avoid uncleanable spots in floor, wall and ceiling. So first one is proper arrangement for testing as well as take care of all safety points that are included in proper earthing as well as that are included in proper fire safety. So fire safety and earthing that are included for care, and avoid uncleanable spots in floor, wall and ceiling. So clean floor, wall and ceiling are required. Establish the proper area for storage of incoming sample as well as test completed sample. So separated area that is required for storage of incoming or raw material as well as test completed samples, as well as this that also provide sample collection place as well as packing and disposal of tested samples. Next one is keep the things at its location after use and store heavy things at a bottom and if possible on a trolleys. So heavy things are stored at the bottom part and if possible on trolleys. So give the name of location to everything as well as follow the everything has the place and everything at its place principle. So follow the principle, everything that is put in its place, and prepare the location list and display it, as well as put the ladders for things that are stored on the top, and identify everything with its name or that is identified by its purpose. So follow the FIFO, first in first out, for preventing old accumulation for laboratory chemicals. So benefits or advantages of good laboratory practice. First one is it will give better image of company as a quality producer in a global market, as well as they provide hot tips on analysis of data, as well as measure the uncertainty and perfect record keeping, and they provide guidelines for doing testing and measurement in detail, and they provide a guidelines and better control for maintenance of instruments, environment control, and preservation of test record, etc. So what was the benefits of good laboratory practice? First one is that will give better image of company as a quality producer in a global market, as well as they also provide hot tip regarding analysis of data, as well as they measure the uncertainty and perfect record keeping data. They provide guideline for do the test and how measure the test, and they also provide the guidelines and better control for maintenance of instrument, environmental control, and preservation of test records. Conclusion. So gives the better image of company as a quality producer in global market. They provide hot tip on analysis of data, as well as measure the uncertainty and perfect record keeping, and guidelines for doing testing and measurement in detail. So for better image of company as a quality producer in global market, they provide hot tip regarding analysis of data, as well as that measure uncertainty and perfect record keeping in guidelines for doing the test and measurement in details. So finally, good laboratory practice, they provide the guidelines and better control for maintenance of instrument, environmental control, and preservation of test record, etc. If any query or doubts related to topic, please write your questions in comment box. Thank you.